There's a great deal that business park managers can do. They must first of all think long and hard about the range of options available to them. We've been talking a little bit today about some of the alternatives that are available, both in terms of investing in energy efficiency measures, in the building systems and in energy generation. And there's a clear expectation that you'd start always with energy efficiency. Look at opportunities to improve energy use within buildings, both heat and electrical use, and then move through the energy hierarchy as we're familiar with it, looking at potential areas of renewable energy generation and low carbon energy generation. But I think the first thing business park managers need to do is really consider all the alternatives and be very careful about alighting on any single solution. There are no single solutions. Every business park is different. The mix of buildings, the mix of uses, the age of buildings will dictate the right combination of measures to be used to both achieve short-term gains but also to realise some of the longer-term investment value that can be achieved through investing directly into energy supply systems.
A lot of opportunity about reducing energy demand in buildings and improving, as a consequence, improving the yield on those buildings. There's lots and lots of opportunities around that, whether it's around changing boilers and lighting and reducing load within the space, or managing across an estate so that you have a scheme that you are rolling across a series of buildings. Those opportunities will exist on every business park. The other kind of opportunity, I think, will be starting to look at some of the generation opportunities, and from that I suppose we'll also talk about methods of funding. But there are some renewable energy generation opportunities. They have a longer payback than the energy saving methods, but such as wind farms or wind turbines and solar thermal and PV. All of those technologies attract a subsidy from the government nowadays, and as a consequence of that they tend to have a long-term revenue stream and have a discrete payback. When you're looking at making an investment around energy efficiency, you do tend to find that multi-tenanted buildings or even single-tenanted buildings, if you're not the single tenant and you're the landlord, are problematic, because you'll be making an investment in your building, but the benefit of that investment, the energy efficiency reductions, the cost savings that go with that, will clearly go to the tenant. And that requires a lengthy discussion beforehand to understand how the funding component of that and the benefits from that are going to be split between the two organisations.
Well, it really depends on what kind of business park manager we are talking about, if they are private enterprises or if they are local authorities. Because if they are private enterprises, the most they can do when it comes to working with commercial banks in developing specific loan products for this type of investment is that they can bundle together and they can work as a lobby group, so they can do that. And then they can have a dialogue with commercial banks over what kind of interest loan they put on the loan and all these things. But mainly I think the ones that are the most powerful or in the most powerful position are the local authorities, and they can act as a catalyst mainly for example, if they use our model, which is the revolving loan guarantee fund model of financing, for example, they can create this guarantee fund that will act as a first loss buffer towards the bank. And through this, the bank can afford them better interest rates, or it can decrease the perceived risk of the bank when it comes to the project itself. So in this sense, a local authority can do a lot. They can also intervene with other financial incentives. They can create some regulations which would work better to help this market. But I think one of the best way to do it, and one of the most cost-efficient one, is to create such a financial scheme that has a very high leverage. It has a leverage of 1 to 20, and through this high leverage scheme they can leverage a little public money to do a lot with the private money. So in this regard they could do a lot.